Hello, dear listener. Before we begin our tale tonight, take a moment to settle in. Let your blanket rest lightly over your body. Let your arms and shoulders fall gently into the mattress. With each breath, let go of the day's thoughts. Inhale slowly. And exhale. This is your time now. Time for stories and soft dreams. Tonight's story is a quiet one, whispered from the distant corners of history and imagination. A tale of slowness, of routine, of mystery wrapped in peaceful folds. It's not meant to startle. It's meant to soothe. So, close your eyes, and let's travel back. Back to a quiet village, nestled in the mists of a time long past. Far across the hills of somewhere forgotten, past winding rivers and shadowed stone paths, there once was a village called Duskrow. It was not a famous place. Nor an ambitious one. It was a village of potters and weavers, of soft-throated flute players and catnapping elders. The rooftops were thatched and golden. The roads, made of worn cobbles, crunched gently underfoot. The sun always seemed to set just a little longer there, lingering, like a guest who didn't want to say goodbye. And in the northernmost home of this slow village lived a young man named Ishan. He wasn't particularly unusual. He made paper, you see. From pulp flax and the reeds that grew near the quiet stream. He pressed it gently between wooden boards, always humming as he worked. But Ishan carried something with him that no one else in Duskrow did. Not in his hands. Not in his bag. But in his memories. You see. Ishan had once been taken, the others in Duskrow didn't speak of the stars. They lit their lanterns with oil and flame. They marked their calendars by the phases of the moon and the movement of birds. But Ishan had dreams. Not dreams of adventure. But dreams of light. Of shapes. Of a slow, humming voice that said nothing, yet filled him with knowing. He didn't talk about these dreams. Not after the village healer, old Amarika, had looked at him with clouded eyes and said, very softly, sometimes, the sky forgets where it put you. And so, Ishan simply watched. At first, he watched the stars. Then the shadows. Then his own sleep. It was a small device, a brass-bound box with a glass lens and a soft ticking whir. He called it his looker. He placed it beside his straw mattress each night, its lens aimed at the space beneath his bed. It wasn't fear that led him to do it. More, curiosity. The kind of curiosity that grows slowly, like moss on an old roof. For many nights, nothing happened. The looker would whir, and click, and at dawn, Ishan would develop its small glass slides with river water and salts. Always, the same. The folds of his quilt. A flickering flame. Sometimes the sleeping shape of his cat, Chandy. Until one morning. Just a fingertip. Curled and long. Like a twig wrapped in silver silk. He blinked at the image, turned it sideways, then upside down. It wasn't fear. Not yet. Because sometimes the world does strange things in dreams. And so he let it be. The days passed, quiet and full. In the mornings, Ishan would collect reeds. In the afternoons, he'd barter paper for fresh cheese and figs. The village children would run barefoot across the fields, pretending to be wolves or kings or floating clouds. The temple bell would toll at dusk. Not for prayer. Just to remind the village that the day had once again passed without haste. And each night, the looker would tick, and look. The fingertip turned to a hand. Then a head. Not a human one. Nor frightening. Just, unfamiliar. Pale. Glossy. As if made of candle wax. And large, reflective eyes that shimmered even in still frames. Ishan never saw it in waking life. Only in the images. Always at the edge of the bed. Always reaching. Yet each day, he felt better. He was sleeping deeper. Dreaming of languages he'd never known. dreaming of music with no instruments. And every time he opened his shutters in the morning, the sky seemed closer. As if the stars were inching toward him. Or he, toward them. There came a night when he stopped using the looker. He no longer needed to see. The presence under the bed was no longer strange. It was familiar. Like a memory that forgets to be remembered. And so the looker was stored in a box. Alongside dried flowers, old ink, and a stone that hummed softly when held. And each night, Ishan slept peacefully. Because some things are only frightening when they are new. And once we make space for them, they simply become part of our story, and so, dear listener. The story of Ishan, the watcher and the watched, fades into the folds of time. No monsters chased him. No answers were forced. Only a slow understanding between sky and soil. Let your breath soften now. Let the images fade like morning mist. Your bed is safe. Your story is waiting. Sleep well, and sleep long. Good night.